Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I am going to discuss few important elementary examples on gamma function. Our first example is find the values of gamma negative half, gamma negative 5 by 2 and gamma negative 7 by 2. So to find these values, we use the relation which we already discussed in previous video, that gamma n into gamma 1 minus n is equal to pi upon sine n pi. This result we developed in previous video. Now first we find the value of gamma negative half. So we select the value of n is minus half. So when n equal to minus half, we have gamma minus half into gamma 1 minus half equal to pi upon sine minus half pi. Now this is negative half gamma, and here we have negative positive, then 1 plus 1 by 2 is 3 by 2, so gamma 3 by 2. So gamma minus half into gamma 3 by 2 is equal to pi upon sine pi by 2, negative, because sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. Now again sine pi by 2 is 1, and we transfer this gamma 3 by 2 in right hand side. Then we have gamma minus half is equal to minus pi upon gamma 3 by 2, as sine pi by 2 is 1. Now gamma 3 by 2, as we know, gamma n plus 1 is n gamma n. So we have gamma minus half is equal to minus pi upon, here we apply the rule gamma n plus 1 is n gamma n. So we have 1 by 2 gamma 1 by 2. Now this denominator 2 goes in the numerator, so we have 2 pi in the numerator, and gamma half is root pi. So we have minus 2 pi upon root pi. So here pi by root pi become root pi. So finally we have the value of gamma minus half is minus 2 root pi. So this is the value of gamma minus half. Next we find gamma minus 5 by 2. So put n equal to minus 5 by 2 in the relation, we get gamma minus 5 by 2 into gamma 1 minus 5 by 2 equal to pi upon sine minus 5 by 2 pi. Now here negative positive, so 1 plus 5 by 2 becomes 7 by 2. Therefore we have gamma minus 5 by 2 into gamma 7 by 2 equal to minus pi upon sine 5 pi by 2, as sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. Now sine 5 pi by 2 is 1, and we transfer gamma 7 by 2 in right hand side. Then we have gamma minus 5 pi by gamma minus 5 by 2 equal to minus pi, sine 5 pi by 2 is 1, and upon gamma 7 by 2. Now we expand gamma 7 by 2 using the relation gamma n plus 1 is n gamma n. So we have gamma minus 5 by 2 equal to minus pi upon gamma 7 by 2 become 5 by 2 gamma 5 by 2, gamma 5 by 2 become 3 by 2 gamma 3 by 2, gamma 3 by 2 become 1 by 2 gamma 1 by 2, which is equal to 8 pi upon 15, and gamma half is root pi. We simplify this, we get minus 8 pi upon 15, and gamma half is root pi. So pi upon root pi become root pi. So finally we get the value of gamma minus 5 by 2 equal to minus 8 root pi upon 15. So this is the value of gamma minus 5 by 2. Next we find the value of gamma negative 7 by 2. So we select n equal to minus 7 by 2. In the relation we get gamma minus 7 by 2 into gamma 1 minus 7 by 2 equal to pi upon sine minus 7 pi by 2. Now negative negative positive, so 1 plus 7 by 2 become 9 by 2, and here sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. Therefore we have gamma minus 7 by 2 into gamma 9 by 2 equal to minus pi upon sine and 7 pi by 2. Sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. Now the value of sine 7 pi by 2 is minus 1. So we have positive here, and we transfer gamma 9 by 2 in the right hand side. We get gamma minus 7 by 2 equal to negative negative positive, as sine 7 pi by 2 is minus 1, and here we have in denominator gamma 9 by 2. Now we expand gamma 9 by 2 using the relation gamma n plus 1 is n gamma n. So we get gamma minus 7 by 2 equal to pi upon gamma 9 by 2 becomes 7 by 2 gamma 7 by 2, gamma 7 by 2 become 5 by 2 gamma 5 by 2, gamma 5 by 2 become 3 by 2 gamma 3 by 2, and gamma 3 by 2 become 1 by 2 gamma 1 by 2. Now we simplify these, then we get gamma half is root pi. So we have gamma minus 7 by 2 equal to this 16 goes in the numerator. So we have 16 pi in the numerator. In denominator we have 105. Gamma half is root pi. So pi upon root pi become root pi. So finally we get the value of gamma minus 7 by 2 is equal to 16 upon 105 into root pi. So these are some values of gamma functions, and these results indicate that gamma is exist for negative non-integer. As we know, gamma is not exist for negative integer, but gamma is exist for negative non-integer values. Now we take next example. Show that gamma half is root pi. Now to establish this relation, we use the result that gamma n into gamma 1 minus n is equal to pi upon sine n pi. Now put n equal to half, then we get gamma half into gamma 1 minus half is equal to pi upon sine 1 by 2 pi, that is pi by 2. Now 1 minus half is 1 by 2, so we have gamma 1 by 2 into gamma 1 by 2 equal to pi upon 1, as sine pi by 2 is 1. Now gamma half into gamma half is gamma half square, therefore we get gamma half square is equal to pi. Taking root on both sides, we get gamma half is equal to root pi. So this is the proof of result that gamma half is root pi. In next three examples, we evaluate some definite integral using gamma function. So our next example is evaluate the integral 0 to infinite x power 5 into e raised to minus x dx. Whenever the definite integral contain the exponential term, we use gamma functions to evaluate the integral. So we know that integral 0 to infinite x power n minus 1 into e raised to minus x dx is gamma n. This is the fundamental definition of gamma function. Now, given integral is 0 to infinite x power 5 into e raised to minus x dx, we can write this integral as 0 to infinite x power 6 minus 1. X power 5 we express as x power 6 minus 1 into e raised to minus x dx. Now comparing this integral with the definition of gamma function, then we have this integral is equal to gamma 6. So we have the value of integral is gamma 6. Now expand gamma 6 using the relation that gamma n plus 1 is n gamma n. So gamma 6 become 5 gamma 5, gamma 5 become 4 gamma 4, gamma 4 become 3 gamma 3, gamma 3 become 2 gamma 2, and gamma 2 become 1 gamma 1. The value of gamma 1 is 1. Now multiply these all terms, we get 120 as gamma 1 is 1. So this is the result of this definite integral using the gamma function. Next example is evaluate the integral 0 to infinite x power 6 into e raised to minus 2x dx. Since the integral contain the exponential term, therefore we use gamma functions to evaluate this integral. By definition of gamma function, we have integral 0 to infinite x power n minus 1 into e raised to minus x dx is gamma n. And the given integral is 0 to infinite x power 6 into e raised to minus 2x dx. From the definition, we have the power of exponential term contain a variable multiplied by negative 1 only. And here in the given integral, the power of exponential term contain the coefficient, variable coefficient minus 2. So first we reduce this term in standard form, and therefore we select a transformation, put 2x equal to t. Then we have 2 dx equal to dt by differentiation. Now putting these substitution in the given integral, we have the given integral 0 to infinite x power 6 into e raised to minus 2x dx is equal to integral, the lower limit of x is 0, which gives the lower limit of t is 0, and the upper limit of x is infinite, which gives the upper limit of t is infinite. So limit of integration is 0 to infinite. Now x is t by 2, the value of x is t by 2 from this transformation. So here we put value of x t by 2, then we have t by 2 whole power 6 into e raised to minus 2x is t, so we have e raised to minus t into dx is dt by 2. Now we simplify this, we get 1 upon 2 power 6 into 1 upon 2 is 1 upon 2 power 7. Integral 0 to infinite, this become t power 6 into e raised to minus t dt. Now we write t power 6 as t power 7 minus 1. Then we have and 1 upon, here 2 power 7 become 128. Integral 0 to infinite t power 7 minus 1 into e raised to minus t dt. Now this 0 to infinite t raised to 7 minus 1 into e raised to minus t dt. This is what? Gamma 7, as the value of n is 7. So value of this integral is gamma 7. So we have 1 upon 128 multiplied by gamma 7, the value of this integral. By comparing this with the standard definition of gamma function, we have gamma 7. Now expand gamma 7 using the relation gamma n plus 1 is gamma n. Then we have 1 upon 128 multiplied by gamma 7. Gamma 7 is 6 gamma 6. Gamma 6 is 5 gamma 5. Gamma 5 is 4 gamma 4. Gamma 4 is 3 gamma 3. Gamma 3 is 2 gamma 2. And gamma 2 is 1 gamma 1. Further, we know that gamma n plus 1 is n factorial. So gamma 7 is equal to 6 factorial. So we have this. Now simplify these all, we get 45 by 8, which is the result of given integral using the gamma function. Next example is evaluate the integral 0 to infinite root x into e raised to minus x cube dx. So here again the integral contain the exponential term. So to evaluate this integral we use gamma function. So by definition of gamma function we have integral 0 to infinite x power n minus 1 into e raised to minus x dx is gamma n. Now the given integral is 0 to infinite root x into e raised to minus x cube dx. So here in the given integral the power of exponential term contain negative variable cube, but in the standard definition of gamma function the exponential term contain negative variable power 1 only. So first we reduce this term into standard form, that is variable power 1 only, and therefore we select x cube equal to t. Put x cube equal to t, we get 3x square dx equal to dt by differentiation, and from this we get the value of dx is equal to dt by 3x square. Further, x cube equal to t implies x is t power 1/3, and which gives x square is equal to t power 2/3. So putting the value of x square here, we get the value of dx is dt upon 3 into t power 2/3. Now substitute these all transformation in the given integral. We get the given integral 0 to infinite root x into e raised to minus x cube dx is equal to integral lower limit of x is 0 gives the lower limit of t is 0, and the upper limit of x infinite gives the upper limit of t infinite. So in limit of integral becomes 0 to infinite. Now root x is x power half and the value of x is t power 1/3 into e raised to minus x cube is what? X cube is t, so we have e raised to minus t into dx. The value of dx is dt upon 3 into t power 2/3. So after substitution we get this result. Now we simplify this integral as 1/3. 1 upon 3 is constant, so we write outside. Then we have integral 0 to infinite. This become t power 1/6, and this is t power 2/3. So in denominator we have t power 2/3 into e raised to minus t dt. Now t power 1 upon 6 upon t power 2/3, we have t power 1/6 minus 2/3, which is equal to t power negative half. So this term after simplification gives 1 by 3 into integral 0 to infinite t power negative half into e raised to minus t dt. Now t power minus half, this minus half term we can express as 1 by 2 minus 1. So we have 1/3 into integral 0 to infinite t power 1 by 2 minus 1, which is negative half, into e raised to minus t dt. Now this integral is what? This is gamma function 0 to infinite x power n minus 1 e raised to minus x dx. So the value of this integral is gamma half. Comparing with the standard definition of gamma function, we get the value of this integral is gamma half, and therefore we have 1 by 3 into gamma half, and gamma half is root pi. So finally we get the value of given integral is root pi by 3 using the gamma function. So this is how we can evaluate certain definite integral using gamma functions. Further, we can try these two examples and evaluate this integral using gamma function. So in next video we will take few examples on beta functions. So see you in next video. Thank you.